Good morning, guys. I just wanted to come on here real quick and share with you guys this lesson that God is teaching me during my quiet time. So, my devotional this morning spoke about God's assignments, right? The assignments that He gives to His people, and how it's important to carry out every single one, no matter how small you might think it is, because it might have a significant impact on the gospel and what God is doing in the body, right? And so the example that it gave was Ananias. So in Acts chapter 9, Ananias is called by God to go lay hands on Saul while he's going through his transition, right, to become Paul. And had not Ananias listened to that small act of obedience, right? If he not carried out that small act of obedience of just laying hands on Saul, Saul would have never became Paul, who we know had a significant impact on the body of Christ. Like, he wrote most of the New Testament, right? And so I started thinking to myself, like, how many times has God called me to do something so small? Maybe share a Bible verse or answer the phone call of someone when I didn't feel like talking. And how many times have I seen these small acts of obedience, right? These small assignments and me carrying them out in obedience become something so big. And there's been many times in this walk where I have seen that. And it just made me realize, we think that the spreading of the gospel, right? This revival that God is about to bring forth, right? We think it's going to happen in this like big boom. God's going to do this big act and everyone's just going to come running to the light. But I strongly believe what He's showing me today is that no, it's quite the opposite. It's going to be by His children carrying out these small acts of obedience, these small assignments that He calls us to, that it's going to have these large ripple effects on the body. And so I know that He's having me share this message with you guys, because when He starts calling us to take these small acts of obedience, right, to carry out these small assignments, He wants us to understand how much of an impact they're going to have. And so that we won't dismiss them or we won't look over them, because we'll think that, oh, they're not that big of a deal. And if you think about it, if we look at Jesus's ministry, like the woman at the well, one small act of obedience, just going a different course in the direction He was taking to meet her there at the well, literally brought the gospel to an entire city. It's in the small acts. That's where God gets the glory. In the small acts of obedience, in the small assignments that He gives us. That's where He's glorified, because of the ripple effect of what it leads to. So I just want to encourage you guys, do not ignore the small things that God calls you to do. They're going to have significant impact. Not just on the gospel, not just on the body, but in your lives. Don't neglect the small acts He tells you to take. I pray this blesses you guys. Until next time.